here, Judge. Here, sir.
People called Mark Pilbeam.
Mr. Pilbeam, if you could come right up here to the witness box. Please raise your hand. You solemnly swear or affirm that you will honestly answer questions that are put to you, so help you God.
I do.
Please be seated. Give me your proper first name and last name spelling both.
Okay, Mark, M-A-R-K. Last name is Pilbeam, P-I-L-B-E-A-M.
Thank you. You may be seated.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Good afternoon, sir. Where were you living at in 2010?
Fayette, Ohio.
Where is that in relation to Morenci, Michigan?
Just south of Morenci.
Approximately how far?
Mile.
1 mile? Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay. They're recording, so you have to say yes or no. You can't shake your head. You can't say mm-hmm.
Okay.
Thank you. During the 2000 time period, did you know John Skelton?
Yes.
Did you know Tanya Skelton at that time?
Yes.
How did you know them?
My ex-wife went to school with Tanya and grew up with her. And then when John and her got together, we knew them from church, and once in a while we get together.
And what's your ex-wife's name?
Michelle.
Did you come to know Andrew, Alexander, and Tanner Skelton?
Yes.
Did there come a time where your family started doing more things together?
Yes.
Approximately when was that?
Yeah, I'm gonna say probably a year or two before the boys went missing, so probably 2008.
You have to speak up.
Okay, sure. Okay.
The microphones don't amplify, they merely record.
Okay.
So unless you speak loudly,
Can't hear? Okay.
I'm getting old.
Mm-hmm.
How would you describe the nature of your relationship with John Skelton at the time?
At the time of,
2008 when you first met him, 2009?
I just got to know him. I'd say that, we weren't as close as we'd become later on in life, so.
So you said you did become closer later on.
Yes.
Do you know when that was?
I'd say we become a lot closer when, after him and Tanya were having problems, he kind of leaned on me more than he had in the past.
Do you know when that was?
I'd say probably in the summer of 2010, we got to knowing each other more.
Were you aware of an incident where John Skelton took 2 of the boys to Florida?
Yes.
Did you become close with John before or after this incident, do you think?
Probably closer after,
And did he begin reaching out to you?
Yes.
Do you know how often he would contact you?
Sometimes, I think at one time it was up to about 10 times in a
John Skelton ever tell you how he felt about the relationship he had with you?
Not in so many words, you know, I'd say that, you know, he just knew that, you know, I knew that he didn't have a lot of friends, and, you know, he was leaning more on me because of that.
So during the period of time where he's contacting you daily, what kind of things are you guys discussing?
You know, it was a lot about Tanya, and, you know, wondering about her and what she was doing and what, you know, he wanted to know if I could help maybe smooth things over between the two of them.
Did you agree to do that?
You know, I told him that I'd do my best, but, you know, that's kind of hard under the circumstances. I felt that, you know, it's like, it was a difficult request.
Did John ever talk to you about any underground organizations during these phone conversations, or during these conversations during that time period?
No.
Did he talk to you during that time period about a Joanne Taylor?
He did talk about Joanne Taylor.
Was that before Thanksgiving of 2010 or after?
It was before.
He brought up Joanne Taylor before Thanksgiving of 2010?
Yeah.
Okay, and when did he talk about Joanne Taylor?
It was, I don't know, one of our conversations that we had, just that he had been talking to this lady, and, you know, he connected Tanya to her, unbeknownst to her,
Okay.
and, you know, was having this lady talk to Tanya and asking her different questions.
Did he indicate with you how this Joanne Taylor person was talking to Tanya?
Through, you know, a website called Cafe Mom.
And we're gonna come back to that in a little bit. During this September through Thanksgiving of 2010 period, does John talk to you about another woman from Florida?
No.
Does he ever discuss suicidal thoughts with you?
No.
Does he ever discuss homicidal thoughts to you?
No.
Does he ever talk to you about specifically what he could do if he ever had to hide a body?
Yes.
Okay, and tell me about that conversation.
I don't know, it just came up one time when we were talking, and he said that, you know, the best place to hide bodies would, you know, if you never want to have somebody get found, you know, put them in a hog barn, and the hogs would eat them, which kind of was an off-the-wall conversation.
Did he say where that idea came from?
No.
Did he talk to you about working at any kind of hog farm or with pigs or anything like that?
Well, I knew where he worked at, so I knew they had, you know, hogs at the farm that he worked at, the grandparents.
Do you
The
know-
state line farm.
At State Line Farm?
Yes.
And is that the one there in Morenci?
Yes.
Had you ever been to State Line Farms?
I've been there before.
Have you seen the hogs out there?
I've seen the hog barns, I've never been inside of them.
Did he give any further detail on how he would do that, accomplish that?
Didn't really specify, you know, just one of those things where I don't know how it ever came up, but we didn't really elaborate on details about it, so. I didn't really think anything about it, just, you know, we had conversations about a lot of things, and just didn't really give it a lot of thought, you know, at that point.
Did there come a time when the conversations with John Skelton kind of came to a lesser than 10 times a day?
Well, I had to tell him to kind of back off some because it was getting, I had a job and it was getting it was always about the same thing, a lot. And it was just getting tough to deal with it because, it was always about Tanya, what she was doing and who she was with, and it was just an obsession that, just got difficult to discuss after time.
Did John ever have a conversation with you about any custody issues?
Yeah, he did.
Would that be with Katie or with the boys?
Katie. Repeat the question?
I'll just rephrase it.
Okay, yeah.
Do you know who the custody issues, the conversations were about?
Just, the kids, he felt that, he didn't get enough time with the children.
And when you say the children, are you talking about Andrew, Alexander, and Tanner?
Yes.
Do you know if John had any other children at that time?
I wasn't aware of his other child, but, later on, I did become to know about his daughter.
Did you have a conversation with John about his trip to Florida?
Yes.
And what did he tell you about why he left with the boys?
John really wanted to move back to where he grew up in Florida, and he felt more comfortable there. He said that Tanya wasn't open to moving, and he kept pushing, and she didn't want to move. And one day he decided to take the two boys to Florida and pull them out of school.
Do you recall if he told you a different story in the beginning?
I'm not sure what you're referring to.
If I allow you to read the report, do you think that could help refresh your memory?
Sure.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
No, Judge.
May approach.
Read to yourself, I apologize, thank you. For the record, Your Honor, that's an FBI report dated November 27th, 2010.
And Your Honor, I reviewed and stipulated everything, so no issue for me.
Do you recall if John originally told you a different story about why he took the kids to Florida?
Yeah, I do recall. He did say he was taking them on a family vacation. And, he hoped that by taking them down there, Tanya would have second thoughts about moving down there with him.
And did you question him further on that issue?
Yeah, I didn't really believe that that was the whole purpose of him going to Florida. And I just kind of questioned why he did that back then.
And then what did he tell you after you questioned again?
He just John came back and said that, he just felt that, Tanya needed to kind of, he was the provider and she needed to go with him, and, he was trying to do everything he could to convince her to do that, so.
So did you understand from that conversation that he thought it would kind of force her down to Florida?
Yes.
When discussing custody issues with you, what did John say about having the boys with him?
Well, he wanted, wanted the kids with him, and he told me that, if he could have them with him, then Tanya wasn't going to have them either, so.
And that's between the September-November 25th stretch
Yes,
of 2010?
yes.
Prior to Thanksgiving of 2010, did John ever tell you any concerns that he may have had regarding Tanya?
He had talked about her past, that he was concerned that she was doing things to the boys, which, I didn't agree with. I didn't buy into it, so.
Did he ever say there was an allegation from the boys of her doing anything?
No.
Is this the first time that you're hearing this from John?
Yes.
Did he say if he was going to do anything about that?
He didn't say he was, that he was going to do anything about it. I really didn't at the time understand what he was talking about, he didn't elaborate on what that meant. I guess I should have asked if I did.
So I don't want to put words in your mouth. I just want to make sure I understand. He said that there was some fear that something might happen.
Well, he was, his words were, if I can't have the kids, she's not going to have the kids either, which kind of went along with the story of taking them to Florida. But then the kids had to, came back, so, I didn't really think about too much about what he meant by that, at that time. It just, knowing John and, how he loved the kids, it didn't really even cross my mind.
During these conversations where he is saying to you that he's got a concern about Tanya and sexually abusing the boys, is he also telling you how he feels about Tanya?
Yes.
And how is he feeling about Tanya at this time still?
Well, he was still in love with her.
And did he express any intention to leave her because of this?
No. That was the hard problem is, if somebody was doing what John said was going on with his boys and then turn around and want to be with that person as much as he was obsessed with Tanya, it was hard to see both sides of it in that light. It just didn't make any sense. If somebody was harming my children, I wouldn't want to be with them.
Did you say that to him?
Yeah, I told him, I said, if somebody was doing that to my children, I wouldn't want to be with them. I don't understand why you're obsessed with this person if you truly believe that's what's going on with your children.
Do you recall what he said to you?
He just, he didn't really say a lot then, but, he just kept, after that, the obsession just continued on, so it just was hard to believe that he really felt that was going on when he's still in love with this lady,
Do you recall in relation to when Thanksgiving was, approximately when that conversation would have occurred?
I'm going to say 2 or 3 weeks probably prior to that.
talk to John after Thanksgiving of 2010?
No. Well, yes, sorry, yes. I did talk to him at the jail.
Okay, did you talk to him at any other location?
No.
Do you recall when you spoke with him at the jail?
It was usually on a Sunday. You know, he put me on his visitor list, and I would go there Sunday afternoon.
How many times do you think you went to see him?
I'm gonna say 5, 6 times. I guess.
What would you guys talk about?
A lot of it was what, you know, Tanya was doing, and, you know, was she with anybody, and it was just more about Tanya than, you know, talking about the children or what happened to them.
Did you ask him during those visits where the children were?
Yes, and, you know, you always, like, try to change the subject and put it back on Tanya, so, you know, after a point, I just stopped going to the jail because I, you know, just, that's what he wanted to talk about all the time. I just was like, you know, I wanted to know where the children were.
When you said he kept talking about Tanya and bringing her up, are these conversations, what are these conversations about?
Just, you know, whether she had a boyfriend, how she was doing, if she was seeing anybody, or, you know, just more about asking questions about Tanya, you know, what was going on in her life.
Is he still expressing that he loves her?
Yes,
Is he still expressing that he wants to be married to her?
yes.
Did there come a conversation where he did express to you something that he did with the boys?
No.
Do you recall John talking to you about an organization while he was at the jail?
No, not at the jail.
Did he talk to you about an organization at all?
I don't recall.
And you did speak to the FBI back in 2010 and 2011, is that right?
Yeah, correct, yes.
Do you think reading your report might refresh your
Sure.
knowledge? You have to read both pages to yourself. Where's the mother when you're done? Your Honor, for the record, this is an FBI report, date transcribed January 10th, 2011, investigation January 9th, 2011.
And defense is in possession, has reviewed and stipulated as such.
Does that refresh your recollection a little bit?
Yeah, it does.
Right. So, during a visit with John Skelton at the jail, and when you say at the jail, what do you recall what jail this was?
Lenawee County.
Okay. Do you recall the date of the visit?
I don't recall the date.
If this report says Sunday, January 9th, 2011, would you have any reason to disbelieve that?
No.
Okay. So during this visit, does John have a conversation with you about an underground organization?
Yes.
And what does he tell you?
Just told me that, he had been talking to these people a month prior to giving the children to this group. And that Tanya had been interviewed unbeknownst to her, by the group. And he was just, felt that it was needed to do this to get the boys away from Tanya.
And earlier you testified that he had talked to you about Joanne Taylor, who was interviewing her on Cafe Mom. Is this the same conversation that you were talking about?
No, there was a prior conversation about that prior to this happening.
Did John indicate to you whether he had notified anybody that he believed Tanya was hurting the boys?
Prior to this happening,
Correct.
he did not, that I recall.
Do you recall if John told you what day the organization picked up the boys?
It was the day before they were supposed to be picked up from Tanya.
Do you recall reading in your report that he indicated to you it was the Wednesday before Thanksgiving that the organization picked them up?
Yeah. Yes.
Did John indicate to you what the organization was doing with the boys when they picked them up?
I don't recall.
Did he indicate if they were bringing the boys back?
Yeah, they were supposed to be bringing them back.
Do you know when?
The next, that day in the afternoon, they were supposed to be bringing them back, if I recall.
Friday afternoon?
Yes.
The 26th of November?
26, yes.
Okay. Did John have a reaction to the boys not being returned at that time?
Yeah, he seemed pretty upset about it. That, the boys weren't returned when they were supposed to be.
Do you recall what he said to you about that?
He just felt that they misled him, and he seemed to be very upset about it and sobbing about it.
Do you recall if John talked about any victims?
John felt he was the victim because, this group took the kids, longer than they were supposed to. And John wanted to have Tanya drop the charges against him so he could get out and help try to locate the kids.
Did John indicate that he wanted her to drop the charges so that he could also be there for her? Do you recall if that happened?
Yeah, he, wanted to be, kind of be more connected to her so they could put their minds together and try to find the children.
Did John tell you he had any conversations with his parents about this organization prior to Thanksgiving 2010?
Yes.
Okay. And when did this conversation with John occur?
In that January timeframe that I visited.
So at the Lenawee County Jail in
Yes.
January of 2011?
Yes.
Okay. And what did he tell you about the conversation he had with his parents?
He said he talked to them about prior to this happening that, he let them know what was going on with Tanya and why he had to do this. And let them know what was going on with the children.
And did he say how his parents reacted?
They seemed to be okay with it because, John convinced them that this was something that was needed to be done because of his fears of what he thought was going on with the boys.
I want to go back to the conversation you had regarding the hog barn. Do you recall when that conversation would have taken place in relation to Thanksgiving 2010?
Yeah, I'm gonna say a couple of months before that.
Okay. But it was still within that September, November 2010 timeframe?
Yeah.
Do you recall where you were at when that conversation occurred?
We were at my house, just talking in general and just something that came up.
Did John come over to your house very often?
Not a lot, but, a lot of our conversations were on the phone, texting, it was occasionally coming over.
At the point in time where you told John that the calls were becoming too much and you kind of wanted to scale that back, did you give him any advice or tell him to do anything else?
Well, I told him to talk to Donna Galloway, the pastor, and try to talk to her more, and, maybe that would help what he was trying to accomplish with me, getting, maybe that could help put their marriage back together if that's what the end goal was. But
Do you know if he ever sought counseling or guidance?
Yeah, he used to, see Donna Galloway, go in and see her quite often.
Did you have any conversations with John about where he might go or what he might do if he felt troubled?
He said he used to go to the Lost Nation, occasionally, to get his mind back in the game. He'd go out and visit Lost Nation sometimes.
Did he tell you how often he would go out to Lost Nations?
I don't recall a specific number of times, but, traveling in his job, truck driving, I think he would stop there on the way back or the way there just to kind of have a chance to think about things.
Did he have any conversations with you about his familiarity with Lost Nations?
He seemed to know the area quite well, like where good places were to visit, to, be alone.
Are you yourself familiar with the Lost Nations area?
Not a lot, I know, I've been there a few times in my life, but not too often.
Do you know approximately how many acres Lost Nations is?
I do not.
Can you tell me a little bit about the landscape, the terrain?
Just, a lot of wilderness, a lot of trees, a lot of area where, it's not really many people out there, so it's very uninhibited.
Are there bodies of water out there, to your knowledge?
Not to my knowledge, I don't know.
Did you have any conversations with John about the pending divorce and custody issues before the court and the attorneys that they had?
Yeah, we had some conversations, but I can't recall everything that we talked about back then.
Do you recall any conversations? Did he express any anger with an attorney?
Yes.
Okay, do you remember that conversation?
Just, John was frustrated because they were, he wanted more custody time, and he didn't feel like he was getting what he wanted from the attorney.
back to November 26th of 2010. Do you recall going to the hospital where John was at?
Yes.
Okay, and do you recall? Was it the 26th, that Friday, or would it have been a different date?
Could have been the 25th. I don't recall the exact date.
Okay, it could have been, you're not sure of the exact date?
I'm not sure of
Okay.
the exact date.
Well, let me ask you this, who was at the hospital?
Who was there?
Yes,
So Donna Galloway and myself,
okay.
and the FBI, the agent that took us.
Do you know the FBI agent's name, do you recall?
I don't.
Anybody else there?
There was a lady that was kind of a psychologist type FBI agent that was there as well that I talked to.
Do you remember what hospital this was at?
Let's say St. Vincent's, but I can't remember where St. Vincent.
Did you get the opportunity to speak with John during that time?
No,
Did you get the opportunity to see him during that time?
yes.
Tell me how.
You know, they had us at the nurse's station, and John was in the room next door. So I got to see cameras with John in the bed at the hospital.
During that visit, did you observe Pastor Galloway go in and speak with John Skelton?
Yes.
After she spoke with him, do you recall what happened next?
Well, what happened next is we got in the FBI's vehicle and headed to Kunkel, Ohio, so,
Where did you go in Kunkel?
to a school that John had, through the conversation he was having with Pastor Galloway, that he kind of remembered something about a school, and that led everybody to pack up and head to the school to see if what he was recalling was there or not, if the kids were there.
And is this something you're hearing directly from John, or is this something Pastor Galloway told you after she had spoken with him?
No, it was something I heard, while John was speaking to her.
This-
Pastor Galloway was trying to get the exact place that the children were located at, and, she was talking to him, trying to press him for information, and this is what, he recalled coming up with.
You say a schoolhouse in Kunkel. Was it an active schoolhouse?
No,
Okay, describe what this building is.
just a big block building, it's like an old schoolhouse that, they hadn't used it in quite some time. I remember there was it's kind of like a taller middle part of the building with flatter classrooms on the sides, and
So it's you, Pastor Galloway, one FBI agent or two?
one.
And anybody else go with you guys?
Not directly in the vehicle that we were in, but there were other people that were in other vehicles that showed up at the same time.
Did you get out and were you involved in the search of that building?
No,
Did you ask to be a part of that?
no, I honestly, I didn't know why I ended up having to go there. To be honest with you, I didn't know what the purpose was. It seemed kind of odd. I really wanted to talk to John, and somehow I'm heading to Kunkel, Ohio for some reason. I didn't really have a choice.
Did you guys take the freeway there to Kunkel?
Took the turnpike.
How fast are you on?
It was scary fast. It was probably 100 plus mile an hour. It was pretty scary to be on the turnpike at the speeds that we were traveling. So,
To your knowledge, did the FBI
Chief Weeks, Don Thompson was there, and we met up at some diner close by. I don't remember the exact diner, but it wasn't too far from the school.
Are you familiar with the Pioneer, Ohio area?
Yes.
And is that where, have you been out there camping before?
Yes.
Did you go with John Skelton at any point in time?
Yes.
Who all went on that camping trip?
You know, my ex-wife and 2 children, and then John and Tanya and the 3 boys. Tanya's 2 daughters, and then her family.
Is this
Those
the,
her parents and sisters and brother-in-laws.
is this the first time you've been out to Pioneer camping, or had you been out there before?
That was the first time that we went out there.
Have you been out there since?
I went camping there once after that.
So this campground in Pioneer, do you recall what it's called?
Funny Farm Campground.
How big is this campground?
It's not, you know, it's not a real huge campground. I'd say small, you know, smaller than a lot of campgrounds. I think it has a lot of campsites. You know, maybe 50, 100. I don't recall the exact number.
Tell me about the area surrounding the Pioneer, Ohio.
The
The
campground.
landscape, the whole area around Pioneer, Ohio.
You know, it's more, you know, Pioneer's a small little town. There's a lot of industrial, a lot of companies there, a lot of factories. But it's a small rural community. And, you know, Funny Farm had, you know, it's kind of tucked away on a dirt road. And that's something that most people would know about. And this place had a pond. You know, we were close to the pond when we camped there.
Do you recall if there were, if the Funny Farm was set back far enough away from other homes and stuff like that?
Yeah, there was quite a, you know, there wasn't really any homes close by. You know, I'd say there wasn't a lot of homes in that area. It was more of a farm type setting.
Nothing further.
Ross?
Thank you. Good news, sir. How are you?
Good.
So were you and John relatively close then? Because it sounds like you went to the jail and the hospital to see him.
Yes.
I'd like to start talking about the hospital visit. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Alright. And is it true it was you, the pastor, and an FBI agent?
Yes.
And you mentioned, correct me if I'm wrong, sir, that the pastor was pressing John?
She was trying to get information about where the children were.
Okay.
So she was trying to get information out of it, and that was, you know, that was our purpose of going. So
Oh, so you also wanted information at that?
was I wanting that? Yeah, I wanted to know where the boys were as well. So our goal was to try to help, you know, hopefully talk John into telling us where these children are.
And did you or the pastor talk to the FBI before that meeting?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And did the FBI instruct you what to do?
No.
What was the conversation with the FBI before you went to the hospital at that, if you remember?
You know, they really didn't give us an agenda of what we needed to do. It was just they wanted us to be there to try to, because we were close to John, and hopefully we would be able to get some closure on what happened to the children.
So would it be fair to say, based upon what you're telling us, that the FBI wanted you and the pastor to assist in finding out information from John?
Yes.
And what was John's physical condition when this was going on? Was he able to leave, able to walk around?
No, he broke his ankle.
So, is it fair to say that he is immobile and being questioned by the pastor with the FBI present?
Yes.
Thank you. Now, let's talk about this school in Ohio, the Kunkel School. Now, you said you didn't really want to go to that, correct?
Yeah, I didn't know, I didn't know the purpose of the visit other than to go confirm what John had come up with Pastor Donna. I wanted to talk to John. I would rather have done that than head out to a school.
Okay. How far was the school from the hospital? Any idea?
I'm gonna say 40 minutes, 50 minutes, but by FBI car, maybe 20 minutes.
Gotcha. It was going pretty fast.
It was going pretty fast.
And to be clear, the school was not in Michigan?
No, it was in Ohio.
Okay. Now, did you hear what John told the pastor about the school in Ohio?
Yeah, I heard, that he was trying to recollect what, some information about the kids, where they might be, and
Remember specifically what was said? I know it's been a long time.
It's been a long time, but I think it was just where this group may have put the children at was, trying to recollect his conversations with this group and where the children may be located since they didn't get brought back on time, so.
Okay. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, you were not involved in the search, is that true?
I was not.
So,
Don and I sat in the car,
who was involved in the search? Was it just the one FBI agent? Was there a team of officers?
There was a team of officers. I know that Morenci Police, Don Thompson, I believe, went out there, and I think Chief Weeks was out there as well, but there were several police, police. So I don't know if all of them were FBI or what they were, but there were a lot of people out there searching.
Do you remember, to the best of your knowledge, how long did the search go on?
I don't know, maybe a half hour to an hour.
Okay. And was it still daylight?
It was dark.
It was dark.
It was dark.
I'm assuming, were there flashlights? Were there dogs? Canine dogs?
Yes.
Okay. And did the FBI or anybody share the results of the search?
Yeah, they just said nothing was found. So.
Now, you mentioned this hog barn. Can you explain what was discussed about a hog barn?
We were just carrying on a conversation, and just out of the blue, John had said something about, like, if you ever, because him and I shared a lot of thoughts, we discussed a lot of things when we get together, and just out of the blue, he said, you ever had to get rid of somebody, hog barns, or, hogs, eat the body and just, there's nothing left, there's no evidence. It's like, no, I didn't know that, but I didn't really elaborate why he's giving me that information. But,
Did you ever share anything about how hogs don't eat teeth? Did you get that specific about anything?
we didn't get that specific.
Okay. Tell me about, and I'm getting this wrong, sorry, Lost Nations?
Lost Nation.
Lost Nations, what is that exactly?
It's just it's an area where it's kind of a preserve, just a lot of trees, a lot of wilderness. Nobody really built on it. It's just more of a nature area that, somebody could go out and walk through the woods, and, not gonna build houses. It's up in the Hillsdale County area.
Was it a place that you and John would hang out together or just discuss?
We just discussed it. I never, went there with John to Lost Nation.
And would it be fair to say you really don't know a ton about the dynamics of the area?
No.
Okay. How about Funny Farm? What is that exactly?
It's a campground for, RV campground.
Did you guys hang out there at all?
We did one time.
Okay. Was that something like you planned, or was it just a spur of the moment trip? And what is Funny Farm? Can't really, you know how big it is or anything?
You know, I'm gonna say 50 to 100 campsites. You know, my ex-wife and Tanya and her family planned over Memorial Day weekend, you know, a trip out there.
Did you guys do couples groups together when you were both married?
Occasionally, you know,
Like dinners, movies, anything like that?
not really dinners or movies. You know, we would do things at the church. You know, occasionally get together, but you know, not a lot. Is
And was Pastor Galloway your pastor as well, all in the same church?
yes,
Okay. Did John attend regularly, do you know?
yes,
Okay. So he was a member of the church.
yes.
Tell me about his conversations about his children. You mentioned custody. Did he seem concerned he wasn't seeing them enough?
Yes,
Did he want to see them more?
yes,
Did you ever see John do anything harmful to his children?
no,
Did he ever badmouth his children?
no,
Did he seem frustrated he didn't get to see his children enough?
yes.
From your point of view, did he truly love his children?
Yeah, he loved his children.
Tell me about this underground, is it sanctuary? Underground group, I believe the prosecutor mentioned.
Yes.
Okay. When did that first come to your attention?
You know, probably within a month before the children went missing,
Okay.
somewhere in that October to November time.
And correct me if I'm wrong, sir, but you also mentioned this happened at a jail visit that came up in conversation?
Yes, yeah,
Right.
happened again.
Now, the jail conversation, do you know if that was a video recording or was it just?
That was a video recording.
It was a video recording of that. Okay. Let's go back to a month before these allegations. Do you remember what John told you about the underground sanctuary?
Just that, you know, John had been talking to this group. He had come in contact with them on one of his trips to Holland, Michigan, and was having conversations with him about his situation, and, you know, they were having conversations with Tanya, unbeknownst to her, you know, over the internet through Cafe Mom.
So is it true that the underground sanctuary was talking to Tanya on Cafe Mom?
Yes,
And he shared it with you maybe in October 2010, would that be fair?
could have been October or November, I don't know the exact date.
What is the significance of the name Joanne Taylor?
That was the person that, you know, he was communicating to, and she was communicating to Tanya.
So was Joanne Taylor a member of the underground sanctuary, to your knowledge?
I assume, you know, yes, that she was a member of that group.
Joanne Taylor allegedly is the one who was reaching out to Tanya on Cafe Mom.
Correct.
Did you ever meet Joanne Taylor?
No,
How often did John bring her up? If you know.
I'd say maybe a couple, 2 or 3 times, I don't know, just,
Did you get to know John pretty well?
yes.
When he spoke to Joanne Taylor, what was your impression? Was that a true person in your mind?
Objection calls for speculation, Your Honor.
Sorry, what's the name? You mentioned that John became a little too much talking about Tanya, is that correct?
Yes.
You explain that to the court?
Just, you know, John was obsessed with Tanya. You know, he loved her and wanted her back. You know, I truly believe he wanted his family back at that time, you know, back to the way it was. But Tanya wasn't having any part of it, and, you know, he didn't know how to change that.
How does Florida play a role in all this, if you can help me with that?
Well, John, you know, that was where he came from, was Florida. That was where his parents were at and his sister was at. I feel that John felt more comfortable in Florida than he was in Morenci. So,
Did he express to you he wanted to move back to Florida?
yes,
Did he express to you that he wanted Tanya and his family to go to Florida?
yes.
So, based on your communications, would it appear that John thought Florida would be a fresh start for the family?
Yes.
Did anything about the Florida situation, your conversations, seem harmful to the family?
Objection relevance.
Judge, I think the whole thing is cross-examination. They made a huge issue about Florida. I'm entitled to review that.
I will allow it to some extent.
So again, for Florida, based on your conversations with my client, did it appear he thought anything harmful would be part of Florida, or do you think it was a fresh start?
I felt it was a fresh start.
The risk of being repetitive, based on your relationship with John, was there any doubt in your mind that he loved Tanya and his children?
No.
Thank you. Nothing further.
Agree with that?
All right, you talked about John talking about Joanne Taylor a number of times to you, is that correct?
Yes.
And your testimony today was that that was before Thanksgiving of 2010?
The one time.
Okay. And you read, did you read your entire FBI report that I handed you? I apologize.
Yes.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
Any objection?
No. This first?
Yes. That was an FBI report dated November 27th, 2010. You recall speaking to the FBI
Yes.
then? And did you tell them that you had, Skelton had never mentioned the names Mark or Joanne Taylor?
That's what it says in the report, yes.
And do you recall saying that?
I recall, it's been 16 years ago, so sometimes things get mixed in, the time frame where they really happen, but I assume that that's correct.
You indicated that you knew John Skelton pretty well, correct?
Yeah.
Would you consider him your best friend in 2010?
I would say that he was a good friend, but I wouldn't say he's my best friend.
Do you know if he ever conveyed that he felt like you were his best friend?
Yes.
Did he talk to you about feeling like you were a brother to him?
I don't recall that.
So during this conversation, when John comes to you and says that he has some concerns about Tanya harming the boys sexually, okay? I want to talk about that. And I believe you testified, you told him that didn't really make sense, that he still loved her and wanted to be with her after that, is that correct?
Correct.
Did you have a conversation with him about calling the police?
Yes.
Okay? And who did you tell him to contact?
Well, I told him, that he should contact the local police department if he felt that strongly that something was going on with his children. I asked him why he didn't do that sooner, if that was what was bothering him.
Okay.
But, I feel John also, if having those feelings, he also really loved Tanya, so, he was struggling at that time to try to do both things, still love her and then get her in trouble because he's having these feelings.
And so again, before Thanksgiving of 2010, is he telling you that he thinks that something might happen?
tell me in specific words that something might happen, but, you know, he did say that if, you know, if he's gonna lose his children, that if he couldn't have them, that Tanya wasn't gonna have them either, so.
Mr. Amadeo asked you if John told you about this Joanne Taylor and communicating over Cafe Mom, correct?
Yes,
And you have never met Joanne Taylor, correct?
correct,
And have you ever communicated with Joanne Taylor over any means?
no,
And do you know that Joanne Taylor identity was created at John Skelton's residence?
yes,
And do you know that the email associated with Joanne Taylor came back to John Skelton?
yes,
And have you ever had a phone conversation with this Joanne Taylor?
no.
When did you learn that those items came back to John Skelton?
Through some of the conversations I had with Chief Weeks and the Morenci Police Department.
Up until that time, had John had a conversation with you about, before Thanksgiving of 2010, did John have a conversation with you about these people, Joanne Taylor, this underground community coming to his house?
Yes,
Okay, and what did he say about them coming to his house?
that they were, you know, gonna pick the boys up and protect them from Tanya.
And did you ever report that to anybody?
No,
Okay, not back in 2010 when you were asked by the FBI?
did I report it after it happened?
After the boys went missing in 2010, did you report to the FBI that John had told you this prior to that time?
I don't recall.
Okay. In fact, the report says you had never heard of Joanne Taylor or this organization, correct?
Yes,
Mr. Amadeo asked you about John Skelton hurting the boys. Do you recall the questions along those lines?
yes.
To the best of your knowledge, who was the last person to have those boys?
John,
Skelton?
yes, John Skelton.
John Skelton that you've been talking about today, is he in this courtroom?
Yes,
And can you point to him and identify him for the court?
yes, right there,
In the orange?
in the orange.
I'd ask the record to reflect he's identified the defendant.
So stipulated for prelim purposes.
Thank you, counsel.
When was the last time you saw Andrew Alexander and Tanner Skelton?
About a week before they went missing.
So November 2010?
Yeah,
So to the best of your knowledge, John Skelton had them for Thanksgiving holiday in 2010, and you have never seen them since.
correct.
During this period of time, is John having conversations with you about his employment?
We were talking about, you know, I think John had lost his job, if I recall, but it's been too long ago.
Was that one of the reasons he wanted to move to Florida?
I believe so, you know, just to get a fresh start and get things going down there.
So you believe he indicated to you that he had actually lost his job?
That's what I recall. seeing the children at Thanksgiving. Prior to that, the children were at my house. You know, we were having a party, and the kids, you know, John came to the party for my daughter's birthday.
And you would not intentionally lie to the police, correct?
No.
Would it be fair to say that 16 years ago, there's things that could be forgotten?
Yeah, there's things that could be forgotten, yeah.
Based on your experience with John Skelton, did you ever see any reason why he'd want to hurt his children?
No.
Objection. Go ahead. You already answered.
It's pure cross-examination based on what was opened up, Judge.
Well, that doesn't call for speculation, I don't know what does. But it's been asked, it's been answered, it's on the record.
I have nothing further.
Thank you. You may be excused.
No objection.
What, one more. So you just testified that you didn't think John would hurt his boys in 2010, correct?
Correct.
But just to be clear, he did make the statement to you, if he can't have the boys, Tanya will not have them.
He did make that statement, yes.
Nothing further.
May he be excused?
No objection, Judge.
You
Yes.
may step down, you're welcome to stay in the courtroom or to leave.
Okay.
We're gonna take our afternoon recess.
All right, please.
Actually, you can go ahead and stay standing.
All right, whatever it is already.
We waited.
Please succeed. You may call your next witness, please.
Your Honor, at this time, Mr. Amadeo and I have stipulated to Exhibit 65, which is not on the list, needs to be added. That would be John Skelton's interview of January 17th, 2011, so we're just going to go ahead and play that.
I have that date here.
Yes, January 17th, 2011.
And I have reviewed, Judge, and I do stipulate.
Thank you.
So by way of background from the court, stipulate or not, by foundation, you're going to see a video that occurred at the Adrian Police Department. You're going to see in that video Mr. Skelton, his then attorney John Glazer. You're going to see FBI agent Sue Lucas in a yellow outfit, yellow coat. And you're going to see Michigan State Police Detective Cindy Gokenauer, who will be sitting next to, and I have no idea how to spell Gokenauer, Chris, I'm sorry, next to Sue in the interview process. You'll also briefly see Mr. Skelton's parents.
And Your Honor, just to cover all bases here, I do understand some witnesses will not be called in lieu of this video. Is that an accurate statement?
Yes, Sue Lucas in particular will not be needed.
Right. And
She's
that's,
out of the country next week, so this is why we're doing it this way.
and even though I won't be cross-examining based upon the video, it will be valuable discovery, and I have agreed to such.
Kind of on that same topic, we are looking going forward at where we might end up on Thursday of this week. And again, where we might end up the following week. We've been doing really well at getting started in a timely fashion. And I have to commend my staff on that because, and all the other attorneys have been very, very helpful. Getting things ready to go and getting them done. But if need be, first 2 weeks in September are traditionally jury trial weeks. And if it comes to that, we will transfer any jury trials from this court to Judge Morgan's court to be tried. And that's as much for you as it is for anybody, because that's going to make a difference with your employees. So that we can have dates in the early part of, the only day we wouldn't have would be Monday, the 7th, because we do have things already in that slot that would go the rest of the day, so that would probably put us 8th, 9th, 10th, if that's necessary, so that you're all advised.
Thank you, Your Honor. We'll keep an eye on it. We are trying to move right along so that we can
Well,
get done in our timeframe, but
exactly.
understood.
And I don't want anybody to feel like they can't do what they need to do. And we will make all the necessary accommodations so that both sides have plenty of time to ask all the questions they need to ask. Today I'm having a difficult time, as are both of my staff people. We don't usually sit this long. And we don't even get to stand up to ask questions. So if I in fact stand up periodically, it's because my back is killing me. People are gonna kill me. You know, you're just an old person. So,
Judge, I hope we're done by the 4th.
old meaning metaphoric? No, that's old in reality.
No. So I'm hoping we're done by September 4th, but God forbid if we're not, I'm definitely gonna need help calling them other counties. I had to move a lot for these 2 weeks, and
And I do appreciate that, and, you know, we had a little discussion about that earlier this, in this process. We will do whatever we can, counsel,
Thank
to
you.
accommodate and work around those things, because I know you know, take 2 weeks out of your schedule is always difficult. And showing up in court is how you make your living, so, I will do whatever the court can to eliminate problems for you.
thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. And we're gonna go to the movies?
I think so.
not you, it's us, law enforcement, Cindy Gokenow from the Michigan State Police. We work together on this. And what'll happen is we take the kids into protective custody. We have a child forensic interviewer. Her name is Katie Howell. She's done 3,500 interviews of kids who were sexually abused or were accused of being involved in some kind of sexual abuse. And she's talked to kids as young as 2 years old as 15, 17 years old, and she's good. She's the best in the country, and that's what we'd like to do. Be able to find your kids and actually have a productive conversation so that we can get this stuff too. Does that sound good? Ready to talk?
Yeah, I don't know where the kids are right now.
Okay, well, we can get into that. What I'd like to do is send your folks back out to the lobby, and so we can really sit down and go over, timeline and make sure that you understand your rights and you don't have to talk to them. Tell them. And we'll talk again.
And just a couple of things that I wanted to say too. And John, I've told you, you've always said, well, there's certain things that gotta happen, like they can't be with their mother. I've told you that nobody can guarantee that. If they came and interviewed the kids and they didn't think there was abuse, they can very likely end up back with her. There's no guarantee of that. You said things like, well, people can't be prosecuted. There's certainly no guarantee of that. If they find the people who did this, or they thought there was things with you that obviously they could prosecute. They're not going to make any of those kind of promises.
I can tell you that TNA is willing to submit to paperwork signing over the kids into foster care while this is being worked out. So she's not, dead set on sticking it to your taking the kids and doing anything like that. She's very amenable to this process too, and has agreed to let the kids go into third-party custody while the issues are being worked out.
And the only other thing I've told you that has got to be clear is, at some point, if these kids don't turn up, they're really looking at you probably at some point to try to charge you with murder. I've told you that. And probably the worst thing you can do is talk to the FBI or the police or things about that, because that's how they would build a case, but you still want to go ahead and do this, is what you told me, is that right?
Yeah. I was an unnamed person, and I was told they were going to be dropped off at 10, so I had to make my
But just saying, understanding that, you got to keep in mind, this is the FBI, they're law enforcement, and somewhere along the line, they or the county prosecutor, they're going to try to charge you with murder. It's probably not a good thing to keep talking to people, coming up with different stories that marry. That's how they build a case. But you've told me that you do want to talk to them and get this thing started and try to find the kids, even though that may not be in your best interest. You understand? You want to talk?
I just don't want to tell them if they're...
All right. That's fine.
And we'll talk to you again before we're done.
During the process of the thing, John,
He can stop them at any time, and he can ask me alone and things of that.
if you can identify an organization that might be attached or anything like that, if it's part of it, with my resources to help get this thing solved.
All right.
And I ain't scared of prosecution.
All right.
You scared of me?
I'm scared of her. I'm not scared of you.
I've worked with them many times.
No, if anybody
Clean conscience.
can find them, it's not going to be a private detective or anything like that. The FBI's got the resources to.
They got a number of them.
Yeah, this is the best way to go if this is what you want to do. All right, I think we're set.
Okay. Do you want to put it back out the
Yes.
lobby?
Can Jeanette give them at least 1 hour back to that? I don't know if it'll help with the next.
You got some forms
Sure.
right now? Yeah, right now. If it comes to it, we can, he's upstairs, but we'll make it happen. Yeah, we don't have to go to any kind of acrobatics to sign anything.
Well, I'm talking about, for, like making you a character.
Yeah, and we'll
Or if you guys go to it, you guys go ahead and do it.
Just in case we talk to a lawyer and have him present, which you have him here, while the questions are going on. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you at county expense for any question if you wish. If you give up your right to remain silent and later wish to stop answering questions, no further questions will be asked. Do you understand each of these rights? Okay. Having these rights read to you, you wish to talk to us now? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. This, like we said, it is being recorded.
Sorry.
It's for your safety and for ours, and
Try to say yes or no, don't just shake your head.
Okay.
So, record, so.
One of the things that we'd like to talk to you about is just sort of timelines of events that occurred, you know, because from talking to other people, it's hard to get the same story every time about contacts that you've had and the activities that happened. So, it's favorable. Go ahead.
Now, we're starting from the boys, the people I've contacted, where do I start?
Well, let's start with
what
when did you first communicate with the organization?
The exact time, date would be in my blog books. I took, I think those are in my house. But I went to Holland,
Michigan?
Michigan, yeah. Dropped off, and then I don't remember the date, but that's documented in my work.
It's all relatively recent. We don't want to go back too far.
Well, yeah, it's recent. The last day of work was like November 1st.
Okay, so we're in the month of November.
Yeah, well, actually, that was the last time that I worked, so we're talking end of September to October
Okay.
area, somewhere right around there. Because it was one of the last, retreats that I made.
Okay. Try to work on sort of a November timeline. I have a blank calendar in November. What I'd like to try to figure out is when were you in contact with anyone in this organization? And by the organization, do we mean Joanne Taylor or do we mean the organization? Are they one and the same?
Well, I met a guy named Virgil at truck stop. You know, strangers, you talk, you know. It's easy enough to talk to people that you ain't gonna see again, you know. But I told him what was going on, worries about Tanya.
And this was in October.
Late September,
and this was at a truck stop?
Yeah, JD, well, it was stopping there at Niles. That's why I did my load up in Holland. I went back
Okay, so you didn't
down
decide to
31
talk to
over
them.
at Niles, yeah. 31 and 12. There's a JD's truck stop, I think it is. It's just north of South Bend.
All right, so you meet this guy, you tell me about concerns about your kids.
Yeah, just tell them, I was afraid, Tanya was gonna, take the kid and stuff like that, but, she was a sex offender and all some good stuff, and, I guess said,
things that we're trying to do as we go through this timeline is find any piece of information that another person can corroborate, or a piece of paper, or a phone call, or email, or something. So,
I really checked the chimney. And I had burned stuff. There was more than one telephone. I had to switch phones just in case. Cell phone,
did you do any checking into the organization, any references, any?
No. I said I had a couple of interviews. I met them in Angola.
But how did you know they weren't just random crazy people who wanted to take your children?
Because Virgil was, the only thing I call him as a transporter for the office. I had a 15-person band. I've seen him around all the time.
All right, so you get the track phone in your mailbox.
Yeah. And
What do you do with the phone? What do the papers say?
I called the phone. There was only one number programmed into it.
Okay.
Contact.
What was the number? Was it a local number, or was there an area code attached to it?
576 number. 576 number.
517?
57.
All right. What did they say when they answered the phone?
They asked me who I was. And I told them my name. And I guess they were expecting my phone call. They told me to beat them over. I'm trying to remember where my first meeting was, if it was over in April or if it was over in Jackson.
But no one else
I met him.
saw the meeting, no one else heard the phone call, no one else saw the phone.
Because you didn't find out.
But no one else that you know, no one saw that phone in your house. The
No.
kids never saw the phone.
Yeah, the kids did. Yeah, the kids, they came over to my house. You know, this is at the very beginning, we just.
We'd like to get forward to that. So they call you, you talk, they call you, talk. When did they come visit you?
Yes. First time they come visit me.
Before we get to that, can I just ask a question? You said that you, when you talked to me, this is before they came to your house, I assume, you did meet at that Subway in Angola?
Yeah.
And you don't know that was the second or the third time?
Yeah, I can't remember if that was the first meeting that I went to,
Right.
or if the one in Jackson, that there's a Chevron station run by the president.
The one in Angola, you met with Virgil and somebody else.
Yeah, Joanne.
And that was that's the first time you met Joanne? You met her?
Yeah.
Okay. And now, did you go inside the Subway in Angola?
At one point I did. Yeah, use the bathroom there.
Right. Do you remember whether Virgil and Joanne Taylor were there?
I don't know. I just, wasn't, one of the things that they just didn't.
Do you have reason to believe that Virgil or Joanne Taylor are their real names?
I don't think Joanne, because October 21st, 22nd, and I'm trying to remember the first time.
All right, and you don't remember which one was first, whether it was annual or whether it was, okay. Sorry,
That's perfectly okay. Which time, kid?
Correct.
Okay, so Joanne, Judy, and Virgil, did they then meet you at your house? When was that?
Sometime first, second year. It was a week in November.
I wrote that for you. You can write
I
on
didn't
that.
have the boys. I did not have the boys. What's this doing?
That's Thanksgiving,
I
right
see
here.
it right here. Okay.
This is the last day of work.
Yeah, yeah.
So do we go before your last day of work or after your last day of work?
It was after. It was after. That's when they came. They came to my house and then.
So both of them came?
Yes.
Did Joanne, Judy have any family members?
Not during these first 2 weeks.
Okay.
All
All right, so sometime November 2, 3, 4-ish, they were at your house?
I'm trying to go back in my head here.
We can tighten that up later, but sometime in the first week of November.
Yeah. I know it was the day that I did not have the kids. I did not have the kids. I'm thinking it was like the second.
Okay, so they came to visit at your house?
Yes.
All right, did anybody else see them? Did they come in one car? Did they come in 2 cars? Okay.
I don't know if anybody saw them or anything because I wasn't.
You didn't go out, you didn't go to lunch and run into people that you knew or anything like that? All right, so Judy and Virgil were both there. Judy, Joanne.
Is everybody else there? No, come with them?
No, not this meeting. Not the first. Not our first meeting. Our second meeting.
Do you know where they were coming from? Where did they live?
In the Jackson area. And that's where our other meeting, 2 other people came. Elijah and Sue came to the next meeting.
What was that?
On maybe the 10th, I had the boys then.
November 10th?
10th, yeah,
And the kids were there?
yes. 10th, 11th.
Anybody else?
Um,
It was Joanne, Judy.
Yeah, Joanne, Virgil, Elijah, Sue, me, and the boys.
When you keep saying Judy,
Joanne, Judy, I think it's the same entity, right?
I don't think if he knows it, well, tell her about the card.
Well, yeah, like on the business card, I mean, all it said, it said, United Foster Outreach. And, underground sanctuaries. And on the back of it was just handwritten, Judy.
So did she ever tell you what her name was? What did she tell you to call?
Joanne. And that's actually, I was the initial person who called her Joanne by mistake. I think. I got, I kind of forgot what the card said. I didn't have a card. I said Joanne. She said yes.
Okay, so out of Joanne, Virgil, Elijah, and Sue, no reason to believe that any of these names are anyone's actual names, right?
I don't know, I didn't ask her for identification. another silver, either silver white or white, I don't know, it was a light color.
So they all came in one vehicle?
Yes. It was a light, I don't know what I think he calls it, the cars are getting kind of weird now.
So they're all adults, right?
Yes.
The kids, to my knowledge, you never mentioned that they met a group of people that came over to visit. Would there be a reason why they wouldn't have mentioned it?
I don't,
So that was on the 10th? When else did they come?
yeah, it was on the 10th there.
Okay.
And then, they came and they brought the kids with them. That's why I was thinking, no, there's not gonna be, they're not out to get my kids.
How many kids did they bring?
Just to,
And who visited?
all of the kids.
All four?
Yeah, plus
6 people?
plus the 2 kids.
One vehicle again? Van? So 6 people at the house. Did anybody else see or hear anything? Because again, the kids never mentioned this to anybody that I've talked to. So I'm trying to find stuff that the neighbors didn't see a car, nobody saw them over.
I don't know why Mike didn't see the cars, on the 10th.
Like your next door neighbor?
Yeah,
Yeah.
in front of my house. It wasn't in my driveway, it was in front of my house.
All right, so at that meeting, how long were they there? Just for the day on the 19th?
Yeah, it was during the day. I'm not sure if Breckin had come down that day or not.
Was Breck?
The neighbor kid, 5 houses down. There's Breckin and Seamus.
Nobody saw any.
But double check. I remember it being down during this time, but I don't know if there was other kids that all about playing in back.
And what time of the day is this on the 19th? Did they come, do you know?
The afternoon after lunch.
So it's light out, right?
Yeah.
And your kids are home too?
Now, your mom told me that Joanne had met Tanya. Do you don't remember?
On the internet.
Oh,
But not in person. No, over the internet. Actually, that's during 10th November.
Do you have marking on there just the days that they visited? Just put AC or something. Sometime the first week, you can put a question mark next to that one. And then we 10 to 19, according to you. Okay, what days were?
Yeah.
Put a question mark on that one, because we're not sure about that one.
Are you certain of those other two?
The easiest, the best way, you have the notes from my computer.
Should I do somewhere, but I don't. text messages that show back and forth between the two of you that indicate that?
I hadn't done this day and this day. So this was a Tanya's week. This was my weekend. This is Tanya's weekend. This is my weekend. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I had it at 10.
So Joanne and Virgil were both there, right?
Yes.
And now they're home.
What's that?
This was late time, well, it was in the evening. I know they were there for a while.
When you talk evening, what's evening?
5, 6. Yeah.
Is it dark out or light?
She was getting dusty.
Were they around
Dark,
there?
No, yeah,
yeah, it was getting dark.
and they were there a while.
Yeah.
Now, when you went up, I'm sorry to back up again, but when you went up to visit them in Angola and Jackson, were you in your truck or your personal car? Did you go just to see them, or was it just swing by while you were in your truck?
One of them, the one in Angola was with the truck.
Okay.
It was in my truck.
Do you have your laptop with you? Did you travel with it? Do you have your phone with you?
Probably.
Which phone? I got a couple you just blocked out at one point.
You talking this personal?
Yeah,
phone or
personal
phone?
phone.
Yeah, well, Tanya had, Tanya and I had a shared plan. Handphone.
Okay. And the same with Jackson, except you were in your car? Right?
Yeah.
And you had your, would you travel with your laptop for that or no? But you did have your cell phone?
Yeah.
And it was the shared phone that you had with Tanya?
No, I can't remember when, November, that was, I don't know when I got my new phone. That's the thing, I don't know when I got my new phone. I didn't keep the date around because, yeah.
You didn't have your cell phone with you. And the phone that you had most recently, that was the newest phone that you swapped out to?
Yeah, that was my new phone.
Do you know what phone number that was?
Oh, you talking about the one that I used to communicate with them?
No, your regular old phone.
My
Yeah.
phone?
know whether Tanya ever responded. It was like a question.
wrong
How are they on your computer?
because when they would come over, they'd use my computer to check Cafe Mom. And there was times that I checked it too, because it was just on there. I never responded to anything. I never saw any responses. There was one response. Tanya asked, "Who is this?" And that's when we made the backstory about meeting them, all that sort of stuff.
So when they would come and use the internet or come to your house, did they ever interact with anyone else? Did they ever speak to any of your neighbors? Did you ever see any other kids? Did you ever
Don't think, I think Sheriff Graham, Seamus and Breton were over there during the visit, playing with the kids in the backyard.
But there were some of the adults.
Yeah. They never came, they didn't come into the house, but, you know, then again, I don't know if they were playing before they came or after they came, I don't know.
Okay. So they came on the 19th.
Yeah. And I don't, normally, when I have company, I don't go over to my neighbor's house and say, "Hey, I'd like you to meet somebody," you know?
So on the 19th, they left at night or daytime, or were they there?
Really, this one, I believe it was more during the day.
Okay. Did they do anything? And Mark, did you?
Yeah, like after 3 o'clock or something, was, I mean,
Why?
I had to wait, I had to pick either.
Why did they come visit?
Huh?
Why did they come visit?
Oh, just to see the boys. This, one of the interviews was more to interview the boys,
Okay.
to about what Tanya did. And all the other, you know, all the other stuff that made it such a necessity.
Okay, so they would, when they would come down, would they call ahead to tell you that they were coming?
We would, yeah, we
Or they would just show up at your house?
No, I would call them on their phone and we would,
Okay, where are all these phones now?
they took the phone, I have different phone here, every visit, usually, you know, they try to visit. And I did new phone, I was going to the new phone on the 1st of December, but we didn't get that far. I gave them the phone on the 25th. So I gave them the phone.
Okay. What I'd like to do, starting on the 19th, is really go through all the, you know, everything that you remember doing. So the 20th, Andrew's birthday, what did you guys do? They stayed over Friday night, right? You took up the kids, they talked to Virgil and Joanne.
And really went into, Sue was supposed to be like some kind of teacher. She was the one who was going to teach, you know, teach them about what they do and where they're going to be, you know, and all that kind of stuff. So, but, transition from electronics to no electronics type thing. Yeah, 20, what do we do? I don't know, I think
Andrew's birthday?
yeah. Yeah, they, on the 20th, we got, I think we got it back. We have Uncle Richards. We come back from.
What I'm getting at is that the kids remembered learning about the, it's traumatic for kids to learn something like that at that age. They remembered that. They did not recollect anyone coming to visit, and they didn't recollect learning it through overhearing on a telephone call, but rather just through a conversation with you. Is there any reasons do you think that they would not remember the phone call? Did they all overhear the phone call?
Yeah, I think it was just Alex. And I don't know if Tanner was in there too, but Andy was taking and playing video game, music creator.
Anything else happen over that weekend of any interest?
I went to talk to Mom about, I approached Danny's mom on the 21st, see about talking to her about, what we said, because, we didn't want the boys to know about it, and then find out about it.
You had a fight about that. Was that on the 21st or the 22nd?
That was the 22nd. The 21st is when I approached Danny's mom at church, like you said, to see if I could approach it, because they were jerks to me for the longest time. So, as far as whatever counseling, where's all this counseling stuff coming from that you hear?
We've interviewed everyone we can possibly imagine who had any contact with your kids during this entire month to see if anyone can verify just some of the information. We're just trying to confirm, the people that we recall. So one of those conversations led to that.
And the 22nd, I was supposed to spend the night over at Tanya's house. Is that true? I don't know. She might tell you something different. But that's what's supposed to have happened.
Okay. Then you have to fight, didn't stay over that?
Yeah, because Andrew told her about her offense 12 years ago. And we talked about it. I was trying to verify this. So,
All right. And then when's the next time that you talk to Tanya or the kids?
what's that?
The 24th?
Yeah, because I was supposed to have them in the morning all day, but because Tanya got upset with me on the 22nd, she informed me on the 23rd that she would change her mind and she was not giving me the boys. I could pick them up from her mom's house at 3 o'clock as if they were going to school.
So you talked to her on the 23rd? Can't. That's when you found out you weren't getting them till later?
Yeah, she told me. Yeah, well, she had that. I don't know if she texted me or if it was a phone conversation.
When did your water get turned off that week?
I don't know, DHS would know that better. I know it
Who
was
would know?
DHS, they're the ones who paid for it. I was them days where we, you know, sometimes Andrew would stay up till 2 o'clock in the morning, you know.
Where do they sleep?
And they have their bedroom.
So, I haven't been to your house, so describe to me sort of, you know, the bunk beds, that they sleep in all in one bed, or they...
Yeah, you destroyed those. They used to be bunk beds. Now, there was, this is the room.
So they share a room?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there was a, you know, bed here, and then it had a, air mattress here. Just
Okay.
Kenny took the bed.
So that's like a queen size or a full size or something?
Yeah. I could fit, all three of them could fit on this bed. And then there
It's
was
like a twin bed.
this
So
bed
who's in
here.
which bed?
They swim.
Okay.
So they
Swim?
Yeah. They start right in this one, and they could be over here, you know, halfway climbing the walls on their leg, you know. I mean, sometimes they look like pretzels, you know, they're all like little worms.
So when they generally go to bed, does somebody get the twin bed, or is that not somebody's usual?
Usually they all three of them right here in this bed. It's been like that ever since there was three of them.
So generally three in the big bed?
Yeah, you know, and then, there would be someone, you know, I'd put one of them in here, and then, you know, they would gravitate over to, you know, all three of them there. We had another bedroom over here that, you know, nobody wanted to sleep there.
Are they heavy sleepers, light sleepers,
Heavy,
all three?
yeah. You know,
They usually get up about the same time, do all three of them start messing around and getting up?
No, I think Andrew gets up. For the most part, he would get up a little bit earlier.
He wouldn't wake the other two up, he'd just wander around?
Yeah, he'd get up, he'd hear me or whatever, and then he'd get up and follow me down.
So what happens on Thanksgiving? Everybody gets up?
And Katie pulled another one of her stunts, like she did on Tuesday. And she's threatened to not let me have the kids.
She said she wanted the kids back?
You know, well, she didn't say she wanted the kids back. What she said was, I got a piece of paper from the courts that says you're not supposed to have them on Thursday, and I want to know if you guys are having Thanksgiving, because if not, I'm taking the kids with me to my sister's. Now, for the last month, I've had the kids every other Wednesday and Thursday. On the weekends that Tanya has them, I get them Thursday overnights.
And you guys have a fight about who's getting the kids?
And I told her, I said, yes, we have Thanksgiving.
Okay. Did you talk to anybody that day?
They were Richard.
Alright. Did he talk to the kids, like, did he come over, did you guys have Thanksgiving alone?
No, I asked him what he was doing Thanksgiving. He said nothing because my head kind of worked, so. We were gonna go by Aunt Lisa's, but they were gonna do something else, or Aunt Lisa was doing something else, but Tim was gonna be there with his family. Not real close to them, so I mean Thanksgiving.
Okay.
I mean Thanksgiving dinner right there at my house.
And you talked to your mom on the phone that day?
Thank you. Bye.
Kids played outside, kind of a regular day, you and Tanya have more of a fight through the day.
Well, yeah, you know, it's the same, that's the correct that she was doing. She used these kids against, you know, she'd take these kids and use her authority,
Sorry guys, Zoom timed out.
Yeah.
Oh, no problem.
New truck shunner.
You are in the meeting now.
She's kind of run the bathroom real quick. I don't want to hold anything up, but I'll be real brief.
Take all the time you need.
Need my assistance.
Yeah, they have a glitch. And you're the best glitch fixer.
Hey!
Oh, you just needed my presence.
That's all right.
All you had to do is threaten it. Oh, now you screwed it all up.
Did it disappear again?
All right, hold on, let me try it one more time.
Sorry, I don't read my text.
Okay, but we're skipping ahead, we're trying to get When did the gang come over and who was there?
Yeah, I don't know, 5 o'clock, 4 or 5 o'clock.
Okay.
Because we had a late dinner because they were there, they didn't want to eat.
Now who's they? Joanne Virgil or Joanne Virgil?
From the time you met them at the truck stops and stuff, did every one of these, was it always all 4 of them? Or was it
All the visits at my house, except for the first initial one, was all 4. All 4. Because they were, the boys got interviewed by,
All right, but we're backing up again. We're on the 24th right now. So 4 or 5 o'clock, they show up. Everybody's there. You eat, they don't eat.
yeah, well, so where we didn't eat. We had a late thing, but that's beside the point.
Okay, so kids go to bed.
The point is that during this, boys wanted the kids to spend the night. They did.
So it's not all 4, it's 4 plus children.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So it's 6. Right? I'm just trying to get the numbers right so we know what's going on. Okay, so now we're going to go over the going to bed thing again because we have more kids to deal with. So when 5 kids went to bed, where did everybody go to sleep?
They all went upstairs in the bedroom.
Okay?
They're all there.
And the adults stayed too? So the adults left the kids with you?
Yep.
Okay. So where did they go? Why did they leave?
Probably because they didn't want to spend the night with me.
Whose kids are there?
I think they were Sue and Elijah.
So Sue and Elijah are a couple? Or are they just 10 kids together?
You're asking me to speculate. I don't know. I just
Back up. So these kids,
know they had kids, and,
so the first time the kids came over was when? The 19th, right? So whose kids were they? Sue and Elijah's or Joanne's?
I'm pretty sure they were students. Pretty sure they were students.
How old were they and what were they?
They were 6 and 7 years old.
Boys and girls?
Boy and girl.
Joanne Taylor had a husband who you met and that they had these 2 kids who sent to your house. You weren't telling them the backstory, you were telling them about Joanne Taylor who had the kids.
Yeah.
So that's not correct. You don't know of
That's,
her
I mean,
husband.
it's what I'm telling you now. It's what I just told you.
Okay, so this is the correct
You know,
story.
so, I mean, that's what I, you know, and I did,
Can you describe Joanne?
it's, 5'5", 5'6", something like that. Oldest guy looking.
He's what?
Oldest.
Oldest? Old
Yeah.
like me or old like old?
No, you don't look too old. No, I mean,
Oldest relative, how old would you guess?
in her 40s.
Old like me.
My wife was 44 years old, so.
What's skin
But
color?
she looked older.
Okay. An old 40.
She looked like, you don't have some people that, you know, some other people that are.
Keep on saying that.
Yeah.
Go on.
I'm trying to get at.
Is she white? Is everybody here white?
Yeah, she was white.
Oh, I just do.
Let's just put it this way, her hair looked younger than her face did.
So she got her hair?
So, I mean, that's just what it looked like. The people asked, well, she had gray hair. No, I didn't see no gray hair. You know, it just,
What color is her hair?
like dark brown. Like yours, but not the highlights.
So the pink one. Fat,
I did
skinny.
my eyes. I don't know about it. No. So, pretty steady. No, she wasn't fat. Say about 130, you say, oh, that for a woman, that's fat.
That's all your opinion on it.
You know, I don't know. I don't know what's fat. She looks like 130 pounds, 140 pounds, something like that.
Well, what I'm getting at with that one is that you described her earlier to the FBI as being fat, 200 pounds plus. So, you know, if we're out looking for a person whose name is not really Joanne Taylor, would help if we know what she looks like.
No. She was about 130, 140 pounds.
How is she dressed? Did you ever communicate with her by email? Because your mom gave me the email address that you give her.
I don't
Your
know.
mom. Your mom gave me an email address. But I guess you would give it to her for Joanne. Did you ever actually communicate with her by email?
That was, there was a reason for that.
Okay.
Do you have it?
Yes. The email?
Yeah.
Joanne_Taylor?
Yeah.
Yes. Because you told a couple of different people that you communicated with her solely by email.
And this,
So never by email, never by your cell phone.
So there's a reason for that. What was the reason?
on the 1st, December 1st or whatever, when my parents would get here. They were gonna meet my parents as well. But, that was for, if we decided to do
And every time we come up with an email or a telephone or a contact, it all comes back to ashes in the glove box or.
I told you about this. Okay. Any person, okay? You got email, you got phone, you got contact, right? You got me with a laptop, cafe phone, and yeah, right? Everything done from here was done over here, right?
That makes sense.
Yes, you're done.
I'm lost for you. Okay, we're all lost. Pretend like we're kids.
All right. We set up cafe bomb,
Right.
right? Joanne sets up cafe bomb at my house,
Yeah, we're over on B, yeah.
at my house,
Right.
at my laptop,
Right.
right?
So we're good. Yeah.
Right. And my phone has her email address that we did later.
Right.
But during my cafe month, we used my email address
That's
at
Lynn, right.
to,
You have to get the account.
Yeah.
Too. Yeah.
take it this because
Right.
I didn't take it up.
Right.
And then when they came back, we made a Yahoo account
Right.
on my computer.
Right.
Okay. So now when things get, this stuff goes haywire on the 26th. Where all roads go, exactly like you said, right here.
Right.
Okay. What happens to A? A,
But what's the point of having a cafe mom account at your house?
Cafe Mom was interviewed for 10. Because they just couldn't go over to Candy Top and say, hey, we're thinking about having your kids go into our foster program because you're molesting them. We want to talk to you about it.
Let's keep going through the timeline so we can get through the end of that.
You know? But while you guys are focused on me,
No, we're trying to do is find
then
points that can
they can
corroborate.
go.
No, we're trying to get to that because we're trying to find points that can be corroborated. We're trying to find people that saw you or places where you were where you could have been seen. So, let's see, now we're on Thanksgiving. You made Thanksgiving dinner. What happened then? They're still there. You wake up, you have 6 kids in your house. What do you do? Five. Yeah, I mean, 3 and 2. No, not a trick. Okay, so you wake up, you have 5 kids at your house.
Do breakfast, good old pancakes. Because they love the pancakes.
Okay.
They come back. Virtually. Yeah, they come back.
What time?
I don't know, it was in the morning. 9, 10 o'clock, something like that. The kids, they left, they said they were gonna come back.
What did they say they were coming back for?
Just come back. I don't know.
You think they're coming back just for a visit?
Yeah.
Okay.
To give us time during Thanksgiving for family time.
And they give you another truck bill at this point, or you still got your old one from the 19th?
No, I gave them my phone back on that day.
On Thanksgiving morning?
On the night.
Okay, so we're not there yet. We're in the morning. So in the morning, you still got a phone?
Yeah, I still got that.
All right.
Yeah, I
So
still
you got a phone. What do you do? Hang out, you have food.
We watched the day, they took over the day. You just, I don't know, they give us dinner, they came back.
The kids go outside, and here's something that we can confirm. Your kids go outside and they play on the roof of their playhouse, and they were seen by 3 different neighbors.
Yeah.
This is something that contact them, if you have any means of contacting them, that kind of thing. So let's, I'm not trying to intentionally gloss over what happened with Tanya, but we need to just focus on Tanya and the kids.
Yeah.
So,
I understand.
3 p.m. they're outside, they're seen by everyone in the neighborhood playing.
I don't know I can't remember what time they sued all them. Came back, but the
What time
boys.
did you have dinner? What football game was on?
I don't know, I don't watch football.
Oh.
I don't have TV.
You don't have TV?
That's not American, I can't.
No, we did good pay bills and because we would watch movies. We were watching,
Figure out what time it was.
exactly.
So, it was dark or light when they came over? Kids were outside at 3,
It was dark.
around about getting dark, so after dark.
After 6.
Who comes over? The whole gang again?
4 dollars.
Okay. Describe everything in minute detail from the moment they arrived at the door. Who's talking?
That was, Sue talked a lot to the kids. That's when the kids' voices, they wanted to see the kids again. And
So where are their kids if both parents come to visit you? That'll be a logical question. All right, so 4 adults show up. They talk to your kids.
babysitter. You want an answer, a babysitter.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, no, that's a good answer.
You know, I do not, I don't know.
That's a good answer.
All right.
So Sue's talking to the kids. Anybody talk to you?
But, we're just talking.
Okay. So you put the kids to bed?
No, because the boys, like I said, was supposed that they wanted to spend the night with Alex and Larry. So, Sue said it was okay, that was okay with me. Tit for tat,
Okay, so the kids have their pajamas.
you know. No, they got coats, they got new coats too. That day, that night, Sue brought them brand new coats. Black. I don't think they don't know what.
How about shoes?
Black orange coats.
How about shoes?
Don't think they brought any shoes.
Do they wear shoes? All their shoes are at the house. They have no shoes.
No, they were in there. I did get them ready for them to get their pajamas. And sent them with blankets.
Toothbrushes?
No.
Medicine? They take asthma medicine every day. So they didn't take their asthma medication?
They took it before they left.
But they need it in the morning too. So they didn't
No,
take
yeah.
it.
They always had to take once a day.
So they were taking it at night when they were with you?
Yeah, they always taken, we always took it at night.
And their nebulizer?
We did need it. We did use it.
Okay, so that for their overnight stay, Thursday night from the organization when they took the kids. And that you can contact the organization through codes, but only after you've approved the custody. Is that true?
At times. And I didn't get a phone from them here.
Wait, let me break it down then, just a little snippet. Did you get a track phone Thursday night from the organization when they took the kids?
No, I gave one back to them.
Can you contact the organization through code?
Yes.
How do you do that?
The papers.
Where did you go after you dropped the kids off? Or put the kids in the van?
As far as I know, I came home. The FBI says I left somewhere. I don't remember leaving anywhere.
How about when you ended up dropping off the kids' stuff at Lisa's?
11 o'clock in the morning on Friday.
Right.
Yes, I remember that, but I do not remember it going anywhere 5:30, 20 miles southwest of my house.
Just don't remember?
No, I didn't. I don't, from when they left,
You can appreciate from our standpoint that it's concerning to us that you give your kids to people that you don't know, that you don't have a telephone number for, that you haven't done any research into, that you don't know how to contact. We know that you went somewhere, but you don't remember where.
so, and I thought I did know, because I talked to them,
You don't know their real names. You're not confident that the one person you know her last name, that that's actually her name. You didn't do any Google searches on that organization.
well, do you look to see who's got the best heroin product on the internet?
But I don't buy heroin. I spend a lot of time looking up where to put my dog for the weekend.
You know, I mean, that's,
I spend time researching what hotel I'm going to stay in.
you know, yeah, but that's all legal. You know, this was just an option because the system failed. That's it.
And did you contact any references, anybody else that had ever used them? Do you know anyone
No,
else who ever?
because this wasn't going to be, hey, this is the day it's going to happen.
Do you know anyone else who's ever done this kind of thing? Successfully or unsuccessfully?
This other person, Eve,
Yeah, I talked to you about that today,
man,
but you said that you didn't talk to Eve.
as far as Eve, I know she was doing something, but I didn't know the details of
It
it.
wasn't the same group, right? You get any information
That,
on Eve?
it wasn't the same, it had been the same group, but at least I don't think so.
So what assurances did you get from them that your kids would be okay? Or that your kids would get their medication?
Because they wouldn't eat it till they got home again.
How about the shoes? Or toothbrushes?
It was gonna get, because,
Yeah, how much shoes and toothbrushes?
yeah, but I wasn't gonna have them for all of this time. For all this time, I wasn't gonna have them until here.
Right, but what are you worried about?
Them not brushing their teeth?
Well, Ian, just when they
No,
don't come up
I
with
wasn't.
Tanya, that these people that she doesn't know, don't even think her legs would start to go up and go, who are these people? She brought plates down or?
That's why Captain Bob was instilled to try to get contact with Tanya and
Right, but I'm saying you,
talk to Tanya.
you're telling us that they were gonna drop the kids off at Tanya's, right? So they must have known where she lived.
Yes, you can see Tanya house from my house.
Right, yeah, I'm aware of that, but then now they're being seen by Tanya. Wasn't that a concern of theirs? And now their covers are somewhat low?
I don't know, I don't think so. I don't know. I doubt it. You know, I didn't do that. That happened on the 19th. But
So the last time you saw your kids or this group was 11 o'clock-ish on Thanksgiving night.
yeah, 10 to 11.
We sent the email from your house using the Cafe Mom account
On
Friday.
Friday morning,
Mhm.
I guess. It was written.
At 1 o'clock in the morning on Friday. 2 o'clock. Yeah.
There was, I know there was, there was one that I had to send.
It was written at 1:46 in the morning at your house.
What is it? What is it? Let's see, what?
It's the Cafe Mom email that you sent from Joanne to Tanya. 1:40 in the morning. 7:02 it was sent. In between those two times was when your car was out driving around.
I know that was written before. And I had sent it, and I was supposed to send it at 7 o'clock.
What does the email say?
I don't know what it said.
Do you have a copy right now? It's a very long email about what a terrible mother Tanya is and about how she's never going to see the kids again and you'll never have them to hold their kids again. Yeah, if you sent it, you probably should have read it first.
I don't even remember that.
It only sent at 7 in the morning from your house.
Because I remember Tanya saying something about a few days. And I said, well, you guys will meet a few hours.
I don't know what that means.
Well, Tanya, I don't know if it was an email or a phone conversation, or a text message or a phone conversation, but she asked me where she would need to pick up the kids.
I'm going to use the code from that email.
Because Joanne sent herself and said, it's going to be, that she's going to take the kids for a few days. And I told her it's going to be a few hours. I don't know about a few days, but a few hours.
So in order for you to communicate through the media or newspapers, what does that mean?
And what did they tell you about contacting them?
I wanted to get a message directly to, like, the boys. It was just put the word Saranac before I wanted to say something. If I did work, what? Saranac.
Like Cardiac for Magnificent?
Oh, Sarah.
Saranac.
Saranac, the city of Michigan.
Saranac or Salem?
I've heard of Sanilac. What's
Sarah,
spell it?
S-A-R-A-N-A-C. It's west of Ionia.
So if you,
You put that before what?
For what I want to tell boys. If I want to send a message to, you know, about Traverse City. Everything was Traverse City. Instead of Saranac, Traverse City.
I'm not telling you.
yeah, what? Like I said, pretend like we're kids. So if you say
I
Saranac,
had understood it all, because like I said, everything wasn't all in. I would say, I was supposed to say Traverse City. I had a message for Traverse then they would know that message would be for them to do something. Or
So from jail, you'd have to have a press conference at which you would say Traverse City.
I would say Traverse City.
But if they take your kids, they know that you're going to get in trouble. How could you possibly have a press conference? If you don't have access to the press.
My parents do.
Why haven't your parents been thrown in front of every TV camera yelling Traverse City?
Because they didn't know anything about this. And even if, I still don't even know if it would even work for them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I told my lawyer that I wanted to talk to the press or, to send out a message. But,
Do they tell you anything else you're supposed to say?
no. Everything was child books, stories. I was telling him something about some of them. It was all incomplete to me as well.
So at this point, you don't really know what any of the codes are against this back.
I just know what I can say.
So if you say Saranac, what happens?
That would just be for the kids. That's all it is. That's just get a message to the kids.
So if you say Saranac, come back, what happens?
That's just a message to the kids. If I wanted to talk, I'd say, hey, Saranac, or something like that would be for the boys, and that would be passed on to the boys. Traverse City.
Do you have any way of getting them back at this point?
I don't even know where they are.
Tell them about the boys' books, kids' books.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to tell them. Goldilocks is the bad people. Or the bad people, the opposite of, what they were, the authorities. The authorities would be Goldilocks. If I told them Goldilocks is lurking, that means you guys are listening to my phone conversations. That means you guys are putting me up to doing something. I tell them Goldilocks is away. Just be out. I can tell.
So why wouldn't you have told your dad any of this to get the kids back?
Because everything's wired and stuff like that. He said, let's do this route. Let's talk to people. So,
His dad did tell me that, too. He said,
I think your dad's real smart.
his dad told me today that he was telling him stuff over the phone, and he said, no, everybody's listening to that, and he said he did encourage him to talk with you guys and tell you guys these things. But he did tell me earlier this morning, when he talked to him, he stopped him from saying too much over the phone.
my biggest concern,
Tell him the rest of the things that, whether it's true or not, we'll find out. You said something about mom has baby bears or something.
yeah, that's how I get, them to know that I don't have custody. Mama bear's got baby bear exclusively. Means.
What was the thing that you were supposed to say if they were gonna bring him back?
Well, if they were taking the kids to protect them from mom, why would they bring them back?
They would bring me back to the event that Tanya either incarcerated or the kids are.
Well, like I said, that's general practice. They're always protected like that, especially now that we're all involved. I mean,
Now they will. What happened before when?
I understand that, but why don't they bring them back now that they know?
What are you supposed to say if they're gonna contact your parents to bring the kids back?
I don't know what the magic means.
That's what he told me.
I didn't hear what.
What?
It's about jacking the beats on, what was it supposed to be?
Well, why would you need all these codes for returning and communicating if you didn't think they were taking them?
It wasn't supposed to happen on that day. It was supposed to happen on.
After everything's all.
It wasn't supposed to happen this day. He was thinking about doing it, was gonna do it somewhere down the road. It wasn't supposed to happen on the.
I had you decided to do.
He was doing that.
Thinking about.
So what were you supposed to say, and whether it's through the media or newspaper or whatever,
Well, I'm gonna say because.
it's not like it's a press conference. If something got out in a newspaper, you know, I mean, I think, you know, maybe, you know, I don't know if he's telling the truth. It may be a scam, these people just kidnapping kids, maybe he's not telling the truth. But the way it explains to me, it would go through like a newspaper. It doesn't have to be a press conference where he stands up and says this stuff.
Right.
But what was the thing that you're supposed to say, or you told me that they would contact your parents down in Florida, is that right?
In case of.
To try to get the kids back, if they hear these words. What was it you're supposed to say? Say it again, say it again.
Just tell them Jack break the beans home, or no, something to that reference. There was no exact words, as long as it was, that was the magic beans coming home.
That's what he told me almost over a weekend. And if you say that, then they're supposed to get in touch with your parents out in Florida. Is that what you told me?
This also.
Huh?
Yes.
And you told me that from the address, parents had for 30 years.
So at this point, you know, I'm very concerned about the organization should exist because, you know, they've kidnapped the kids, they've taken them against your will, against Tanya's will, and kept them and not returned them. I mean, there's a ton of different ways that you can return kids. Drop them off at a fire station, drop them off at a police station, you leave them at a mall, a hospital. You know, the organization is not following through on anything else. I have no reason to think that this would probably work. What I'd like to get is any kind of information, if you have any, that can corroborate any of this. Do you know anybody else who's used this? Anyone else who's seen them? Were you at any place that would be recorded? Any phone numbers?
That's why the only thing that I know is they maybe they got a video I just showed them.
So long ago, that, you know, we'll certainly take a peek. But
Part of all their protection.
wait, so what is this one? Traverse City, it's winter, and they need a haven in the sunshine after the storm's over. What's that?
Because my dad covered everybody, tell you what it means. Winter Haven, Florida. Sunshine State, Florida.
Okay, but what does that mean? A poem about Florida?
After. Yeah.
What does it mean?
Do you know what it means?
No,
That's how we get the voice back.
I thought it was Jasper and the Magic Bean.
Yes, but that's a location.
So
That's a location.
you say Jasper and the Magic Bean song.
That's, yeah, that would get them in contact
With your parents.
with my
Right.
parents. She says that after all the media, things die down, but there's less pressure and stuff.
But my question is, if you send that, how do we know that that's telling the organization to kill them or harm them or dispose of them? Do you know that? I mean, that's what we worry about.
Because tell them to hibernate till they graduate, and then nobody will see them.
yeah, that's the other thing.
What's that?
There's also,
You have to get a message to them, what, within 7 years, you can't get them back. And then
remember I told you that originally I got a piece of paper, a whole bunch of papers, and that the bill had rolled along the first one today. This was, let's see, their rules. That was their rules.
explain their rules to them. Mark explained to me, explain to them.
There's always Tanya had custody, or foresee the potential to get the kids. There was gonna be no contact with me, no contact with her, no contact with my parents, nothing. Total blackout.
They must know at this point that that's done.
And it goes along with that message that I wrote.
Why didn't you share this message on Friday then? Like the day that they didn't get returned?
I was in the hospital.
Right.
Kind of moved.
Okay, now we have a small one, a short one.
No, that was the audio one. We're all done on
Yeah.
playing this today.
The audio was like the 3-minute one, Judge, which just had audio. There was video, but I stipulated to the passing because I couldn't get it. But we heard
Are
them all.
we doing that audio?
We did already. It was
We
the
did.
middle one.
Oh,
It was a real short one.
It was only 1 minute long.
Yeah.
okay. I just thought you didn't have audio on.
Okay.
We are at 20 minutes to 5. Is there a short witness?
No, we're done for today.
All right. All right, we will see you back here tomorrow morning at 10:30. We could do a little earlier in the day if the two of you are not involved on the third floor.
We are not involved in the third floor, but we
We
are.
have to get witnesses here. We've got our subpoenas out for 10:30. We can very well try, but I can't guarantee we can have anybody here. And how early are we talking?
Well, I would think that we could start around 10-ish. If we get here a little bit early, we don't need to make life miserable for anyone, but I want to give everybody as much time to set up as we can. We have arraignments tomorrow. And we have something in the afternoon that I think got put on our schedule in error at 1 o'clock.
We do have a carpool call scheduled at 1 o'clock and on hearings, but I don't know that we have any.
All right, see you tomorrow morning around 10.
Thank you.
I got it. As soon as I can, if I told them if this goes early, I'll just wait.